Hey everybody, I'm Ethan Quant,
And I'm Dekel Quant.
and we're the Quants. And today we're just going to have a conversation. We're talking about relationships in business, more particularly our relationship and our business.
Talking all our business.
Talking all our business. We're sipping on pink sand vodka.
Mhm.
I'm doing which is my drink. This is like my everyday drink. I'm doing a vodka
Your
tonic.
everyday drink.
Well, this is my go-to.
All the business.
I don't drink every day, but if I
You said
did,
it. You would
it's
drink
a
vodka tonic every day.
not just vodka. I drink pink
Pink sand
sand
vodka
vodka
tonic.
tonic.
Okay.
But that's what this is: vodka tonic with lime. And what is that you drink?
I have, if you cannot tell by the cup, a Moscow Mule, and my vodka in my Moscow Mule is pink sand citrus vodka, which, I mean, it makes sense that it tastes good, but I wasn't expecting it to taste as good as it does. I tried the regular vodka like you have, but I haven't tried the citrus in a Moscow Mule yet, and it's really good.
Yeah, I like vodka.
I know. I like pink sand.
All right, so in talking about relationship and business, give us an appreciation for your entrepreneurial journey.
I'm going to do the short version. But I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. And so I always knew, and entrepreneurship was normal to me. It wasn't this crazy, like far-fetched dream out of reach. I grew up in a family business, worked in a family business, never really worked for anyone outside of my family business. And I went straight from that into full time into the fitness space. So I am a fitness instructor full time, and I have been since 2017. I would say my entrepreneurial journey was definitely one of a lot of trial and error, but also a lot of pulling on the experience of working in the family business, pulling on the experience and expertise of my husband, who was also an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
My husband, who is also an entrepreneur. Watching you grow the businesses I've seen you grow, I picked up on a lot of things. And I just asked you a lot of stuff too. You and my family, both my dad and my brother, still run successful businesses. So, um, yeah, I would say that's kind of been my journey to this point. And now I'm at the point where I'm ready to scale. And now it's about now growing and evolving beyond me. So that's kind of my journey and where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up in an entrepreneur. Well, my mother was a part-time entrepreneur, right? Which is interesting because I grew up watching my mom work for other people. And it's funny because she would oftentimes make more money on the weekends doing what we now call a side hustle than she would make at her actual job, right? I always remember looking at her operation and thinking, wow, I could help her improve this. And so I remember one thing, I laid out how she assembled her orders. Like I came up with this assembly line for the orders. And I remember one Mother's Day, I got her, everybody's getting her all kind of gifts. I actually got her business cards and customized receipts. And as early as I can remember, like when everybody wanted to be firemen and police officers and doctors and lawyers, I wanted to be a businessman. I remember like taking my grandpa's old briefcase and running in the backyard and teething my Uncle Joe tie. And to me, like that was what a businessman was. And like that's what it meant. But it's funny because that is like my earliest memory of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so like from having that desire, okay, I want to be a businessman, but you didn't really know exactly. To you, a businessman was just a briefcase, well dressed, sharp, suit tie. To now, so at what point in your, I know you spent some time on the job in your early 20s, right, working. Um, at what point you made that transition now? Did you decide to make that transition to entrepreneurship, like being out on your own? Like, what was that process like? So I want you to compare that process and your, I guess, strategy in your first lap as an entrepreneur to now where you are.
So I was at the bank I was a loan officer, the youngest in the region, one of the top loan officers at the bank at the time. And the guy that was like, used to call him the golden boy. Like he was everything as far as what you wanted to be as a loan officer. He was a top earner. And I remember one time I stopped in by his office and he was visibly upset. And I was like, Marcus, what happened? He's like, man, these people just don't
You
appreciate
call
me.
him name?
Yeah, I call him names.
Okay.
That's what I do. That's my boy. And he don't work at that bank no more. So
Okay.
that's why. So
Okay.
I was like, Marcus, why you say? He's like, you know what? The reality is that I have been busting my backside. We aren't even done with the first quarter yet, and I've already exceeded my annual targets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told them that I want an assistant, somebody to help with just the mundane paperwork, stuff like that, so I could focus on sales. And they told me no.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was an independent broker, I would have already cleared 2 times my annual salary right now doing the same amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, really? And that kind of like just sat with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so fast forward, maybe about 6 months later, I'll never forget, this would have been late 2006. The bank needed 40 million regionally. So that's across the Caribbean. And I brought in our branch. So we had individual branch targets. Our branch target was 750,000. I brought in 1.7 million, one shot from one client. And I remember feeling so good about that because it's like, I far exceeded the branch targets. I did this good job. And I remember our branch manager, we had our team meeting and our branch manager called me up and he, swelling my head right up. Ethan did such a good thing. He single-handedly brought in the branch target twofold. And we're so glad that he's on the team. And he had this envelope, boy. And all while he was talking, I was looking at this envelope. And he said, Ethan, this is a small token of our appreciation for you. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, thank you. And, decency.
You opened it later.
I opened it right there. Because I think if I had opened that right there, it would have been problems. I got back to my little cubicle, sat down behind my desk, thinking about all the glorious things that could be in this envelope. And it was a $25 meal voucher.
For where?
It was just, I can't even remember. Honestly, I could call the restaurant name, but I couldn't even carry a girl out for $25.
You're right.
And me?
Who was trying to carry out?
Well, this was long time. You was like 2. You
have to cut that.
Like 2. He was in primary school.
I hope not.
No, we could do the mathematics.
Just keep talking. No, you're taking the people.
No, he was like 13.
Go ahead.
So it's $25 meal voucher. And I just went back to that conversation that I had with Marcus. Because as an independent broker, I would have gotten 2% minimum off of that deal. Which means that my take-home would have been at least $34,000, which was more than my annual salary at the time. And that's when the seed planted. The seed planted, but that's when the clock started ticking.
Yeah.
And honestly, over the next 9 months, I meticulously plotted my exit to leave the bank and open up my first business, which was a mortgage brokerage.
And so you got into the mortgage brokerage space, and then that evolved into fitness, and then to corporate wellness, and then now to your media company, right? I'm curious to know which one of your business ventures do you think, or your entrepreneurial journeys, do you think has been the most impactful in your life?
That's a tough question, baby. Simply because I think all of them impacted me
Differently.
differently at the stages that I was at. Like honestly, moving into the mortgage brokerage it wasn't a dream of mine to be like the world's best mortgage broker.
It was just a
Like,
natural progression
yeah, it
from
was
the bank.
literally
Yeah.
the easiest thing for me to transition into. While there is when I discovered my love for fitness and I had my transformation. You know, I lost 110 pounds, I got super sexy, I got a six pack. And so I was like, literally, this is awesome. So that was the first passion
Connected to
connection to
So fitness would have been
entrepreneurship.
that, yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, this is awesome. I want to figure out how I can do this every day. How can I get paid to work out, pretty much? And so I was like, all right, start a fitness business. And then media came out of a necessity. Well, I saw the opportunity because we were leaving a lot of money on the table when we went into corporate wellness, because we had to run internal media marketing campaigns for the programs that we were running. And I was doing a program for a major resort. It was 12 weeks of wellness. And I just saw how much money we were spending on media. And I was like, this money could be coming to us.
Yeah.
And I made a decision then. We got a contract with the government to do a pilot program for the National Wellness Program. And that initial investment, or the initial payment, was the initial investment that I made in getting some real gear and really starting Lifestyles. And then we did that. And Lifestyles was kind of just an internal content creation machine for our brands, right? Mm-hmm. And then the pandemic came, and people was like, we ain't worried about corporate wellness because we got COVID. Because COVID, like my daughter say, because COVID. And, but more people needed media. And honestly, I just doubled down, or tripled down rather, on Lifestyles.
Yeah.
And so as far as the impact, like all of them have taught me different things in different ways. But I feel that all of my experiences have prepared me for where I'm at in this part of my life and on my entrepreneurial journey, because I take lessons that I've learned from the mortgage brokerage, from the fitness business, from doing media internally, and I use all of them to now grow and expand Lifestyles. So we met when I was in my fitness business full time. And one of the things that actually really attracted me to you was your drive and ambition and business. Your body too. Your body. All right. After
trying to be decent.
Yeah, trying to be decent for the camera, okay. Right? One of the things that stays with me early on in our relationship was we was talking, and I was playing the friend. I was being the friend.
Why? Okay, you don't got to put all the business.
But one of the things is I'll never forget the conversation that we had about your brand.
Yeah.
Bowflex Barbie. And I didn't have an appreciation for the Bowflex Barbie brand, so that's when I suggested DRN Fitness.
You remember, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I did the logo and everything. And
you did.
That was one of the things that attracted me, because we shared some stuff and we went through some things in that conversation. And then when I woke up the next morning, he was like, all right, well, I did all these things, right? But what got me was when you was like, I can send you a release for the logo. Because I designed one little logo in Publisher. Wasn't even Canva, it was Publisher. And he was like, I can send you a release for the logo. I was like, what? Yeah, because if I want, if I use it. And that was like, yeah.
It's about my business.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that attracted me about you after the body, is body, brains, and business. Yeah.
Put that on a shirt?
Because you grew up in an entrepreneurial home, was that an attraction for you to me? Like, was it like, Or and he is a business owner, or he's a like he understands. Like, what was that?
I think initially, no. I think when you were the friend, it was just the connection was in the fitness space, right? It was like I had just got into the space. You had already made your transformation. You had lost over 100 pounds. You were in the bodybuilding space already, and I was just coming into it. And so that was initially the I guess that piqued my interest. That was attractive to me.
Attractive.
And then as we got to know each other, I realized that you were very into business. And I think you would have been the first person that I knew at that level. 'Cause at the time we weren't necessarily dating, but the first person that I spoke to at that level that had their own business or even was business minded. Like people that I had dated before were not even, they were all in the mindset of, getting good jobs.
Right.
And so, but I do realize, like looking back, that I appreciate ambition, right? And I recognize that even before the business, that you had big goals in the fitness space, like outside of like your personal fitness goals, outside of your fitness business. And so I think that was what really, and then you giving me the advice for my business, like it kind of, all of those kind of layered to like make me realize now looking back that that was, I think, what kind of drew me in, like, or one of the things that drew me in, that I felt like I could learn from you, and that was something that I didn't have in previous relationships.
So for y'all at home, we actually dated for about a year, long distance. Well, as long distance as it is from Freeport to Nassau. So we kind of did that.
I saw you like every weekend, so
yeah, because that's when I was balling. I was flying over, eating sushi. Like, let's go. Them people at Western there that know me. It's like, oh,
frequent flyer.
She coming back, hey. Yeah, let's go.
I never had to like give my ID. It was like, all right, yeah.
Like I can't even remember exactly because I know we kind of, I want to say like it was understood that you were moving to Nassau, but even
we had the conversation.
Yeah, we did have the conversation. I can't remember exactly how to go, but it wasn't just you moving to Nassau. It was, I'm leaving the family business to move to Nassau for man. To go into fitness full time. Like, that's kind of like how it was. Yeah. But so like, what was that for you as far as, because I just remember like, at that point, I've been in business on my own for a while. This is now my second company. I'm successful. I've already built, 2 6-figure brands. But for you, like, what was that for you as far as saying? I mean, because that's a whole lot. Like, new man, I move in, new place where I ain't, and not just a new business, but like I'm stepping into, and plus I'm leaving. Like, what was that? What was that for you? What was last quarter 2016, first quarter 2017 like for you?
I think the last quarter was actually okay. We made the decision, I want to say like midway through the year, like after first quarter. So like going into second quarter, we had the conversation. I don't think it was anything elaborate. It was just like, look, like even when we started dating, we decided, I don't know if you remember this conversation, but I told you, I was like, I'm not doing long distance for more than a year. I was like, at the end of 1 year, either somebody's moving or we just go our separate way.
And I wasn't moving back to Freeport.
You didn't say that when I said that, but no. I know that was your sentiment.
Yeah, I wasn't,
and I think things just panned out. Like, I'd already had wrapped my mind around, okay, I could, after visiting Nassau more often and, getting more familiar with it, I realized, okay, I could see myself moving here. And then obviously there was the hurricane in 2016, I don't remember the name of it. That also then solidified, like, okay, like, Freeport is, like, not the place to be right now. And so I'd already, at this point, though, even before the hurricane hit, I told my family, of course, that wasn't, looking back at it, I understand. And shortly after moving, I understood their concerns and their non-agreement. But I think in the moment, it was just like, I had the conviction already. And you know this about me. Like, I'm the type of person, once I set my mind to something, it's like, it ain't much you could tell me to sway me. And I think I was even more of that then, and especially in that decision. It was just like, this is what I doing. Like, I ain't really asking you for permission per se. Like,
I
just
just
letting you
kind of
know.
informing you
I
that
let you
this is
know
what
what
the
it
deal
is.
is.
Yeah, and not until I actually like moved. I think it really sunk in that I had done all those things that you said. Like, I moved to Nassau for man. I left my family. Like, it didn't feel like I was doing all of that in the moment because I was just so like tunnel vision on like, this is just my plan that I'm executing, until it really sunk in like after the move and like after what was once my day-to-day routine changed, and now I find myself adjusting to living with someone that I know pretty well because we've been dating for a year, knowing each other for 2 years, but now we're living together, and now I'm navigating life with you and your entrepreneurial journey, and now trying to start mine as a full-time entrepreneur. So I think that's when it really, like, reality hit me after the move, I think, and all those things, the sunk in more. Yeah. So I don't think it was something that a process that I struggled with in making the decision and deciding. It was something that kind of, it's like, wow, I really did that after.
I really did that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Early on, and it's something that I learned. I can't remember. It may have been, I heard it somewhere, I read it somewhere. Maybe Harry told me, I don't know. But I remember when you first came over and you were starting your business. Like I said, I've been, I've already at this point built at least 2 successful, 6-figure brands. And I just remember wanting to build your business for you, like help you build your business. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest struggles for me was understanding, one, that we're 2 different people. Mm-hmm. And just because I have built 2 successful businesses this way, there's a different way to do things. But most importantly, if I want to help you, I have to help you in the way that you want to be helped.
I feel like that was Harry.
Yeah, that's Harry. So Harry is our therapist. Well, he's my therapist.
Relationship manager.
Well, he works for relationship management.
Yeah, so he's a relationship manager.
He's a therapist.
Yeah,
but so early on, for y'all who don't know, when Dekel moved over,
why would they know that we went to therapy? Sorry,
go ahead,
tell your story.
See, this is why you went to therapy. You could tell the story.
No, I was just saying, why would they have known that? Sorry, continue. Sorry.
But I said for those who don't know. Some people know.
Most people would not know that.
Yeah, but some people do. Anyway, so for those, when the Dekel first moved over, we had some challenges because
I'm laughing because you said that in a way like they can cut that out. Like you starting this over.
It was.
I love that you're assuming they can cut all that out.
We went to therapy because we were having some challenges in our relationship because there was a mismatch of expectation versus reality. And the same thing that attracted her to me in the first place, which was the ambition, was one of the problems that we were having, because what Dekel didn't know was that I'm an early riser. So I would literally wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I would start my day to go to work. The thing is that when Dekel would be coming over on these weekends, I would literally shut my operation down because, I got 2, 3 days max. And my team worked out of my townhouse, and so I told them, listen, Dekel is coming over. Everybody go home early on Friday. I don't want to see you until afternoon on Monday. And so I would shut it down. So because we were long distance, it was all about her. When she moved, however, she really saw how I was flexing. Flexing? That's what the young people say. Anyway. How I operate. Yeah. Which was, I go to bed pretty early. And I wake up pretty early. And I remember I would be getting up and she would be pulling me in the bed. And I had to tell her, I remember telling her one time, I was like, I don't want you pulling me back in the bed because when you pulling me back in the bed, it feels like you're pulling me away from my dreams because I'm getting up to work on my dream. And she felt as though I was getting up and I was, what are you feeling? Why would
It
you?
was, I didn't feel, I was not upset that you were getting up to work.
You could have
It
fooled
was
me.
just early. And I was like, why are you leaving me here this early?
That's what it was. She felt as though I was leaving her. And it was a problem. It was a problem. So much so that I was like, you know what? I ain't into this shit.
Okay.
Let's go to Harrison Thompson, relationship manager, manager extraordinaire. Let's go to him and let's deal with this right then.
No. Tell them why you said let's go to Harry.
Because I gone to Harry.
He went by himself.
All right,
Tell Harry
all
our
right,
business, and then Harry said, "No, you don't get to come here and dump your side of the story by yourself."
I wanted Harry to tell me she was the problem. I was like, Harry said she's the problem.
He was like, I'm gonna go to Harry because something must be wrong with me. That's what he told me. But I knew after that he went to Harry, so he could tell Harry what was going on. Harry would be like, yeah, Ethan, you're right.
You're right. She's the
but
problem.
Harry was like, no, you need to bring Dekel, and we all need to sit down and talk about what's happening.
I think Harry just wanted to judge us the couple's rate. It's a money thing.
Whatever.
No, but I mean, going to therapy early on, it really, one of the things that I like is that it really did give us, I think, the tools necessary to navigate challenges that we had in our relationship. And I mean, I think it's still tools that we use today, right? Like he gave us the tools. It wasn't just, okay, you deal with this. It's like, I mean, and if you're thinking about it, like if you want to build a house, you can get a hammer and nail, but you could still decide on the house that you want to build.
You get it from Harry too?
No, I get that. My grandpa was a carpenter.
I was actually really good at analogies. And like
Harry is the analogy king. Yeah. Harry is the analogy.
It really made you like,
that's. But so talking about that, right? Because I think there's some parallels between business and relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Like in terms of, there's challenges that you're going to face. You have a goal. You want to have a healthy and thriving relationship. You want to have a healthy and thriving business. But I think oftentimes people discount the importance of getting professional help. Yeah. And I mean, in our relationship, we did that. How have you evolved as an entrepreneur from 2017 to date? And where are you in your business? Let's talk about that.
My business has evolved from 2017 to date in a lot of ways. The look of my business is completely different. My brand colors, I think my brand identity is completely different. I was known as, I think, just a trainer in 2017, and now I would like to think that I'm a bit more than that.
You're so much more than that.
Thank you. I think the way that I operate is completely different. I mean, I think you look at our dynamic, even in our relationship, the way that we work together as well, that's evolved. It's always been existent, but it has evolved. I think 2017, me was still figuring things out, like even like what I wanted from my business. I wasn't someone that necessarily planned, prepared, had goals, had strategy. And now I'm definitely someone that is more of a strategist, planner. Like I have goals, I set targets. 2017, me was not that. And it took me some time to figure out those things and even figure out exactly what I wanted out of my business. What was the long-term goal? What were the short-term goals? And so I think it's evolved in that way. It's also evolved in that I now want the business to be bigger than me. And what I want the impact of the work that I do to actually be has evolved. What about you?
Well, since starting my first business almost 15 years ago. Wow, that's a long time. It's like One, I recognize that relationships are important in business. Like they say the difference between a contact and a contract is the R. The R stands for relationships. That's Grant Cardone, by the way. And I so believe that. And I think, in my first business and even in, early on in my second business, I was focused on transaction. It was like, I can do what I say I can do. I can do a good job, but just pay me, right? And I think, maybe it was being in the fitness space and dealing with people and personalities and stuff, but I have evolved to value the relationship over the money. Because I really do believe that relationships are the best currency. Zig Ziglar says that the best way to get what you want is to help enough people get what they want. And, not just saying, okay, well, I value relationships, but I am very intentional about how can I add value to the relationships that I have. And that's straight across the board, not just business. Like, I don't want to be in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a business relationship, an acquaintance, like, unless I can add value to you. Like, and so I approach every relationship, whether it's with my team members, my wife, my daughter, friends, like how can I add value to this person? If I can't answer that, then I have to really seriously evaluate the relationship. And so I think that has been one of the single best evolutions. And then the next thing is realizing that the importance of team. Like, I think anybody with reasonable sensibilities,
That's okay.
I know that's the thing. Anybody with half a brain could build a six-figure business just through sheer brute force and consistency. Like, it doesn't take much. Like, I really believe that anybody could build a six-figure business. If this is the formula, I'm consistent, I show up, and I do what I say I can do. Building a 7, 8, 9-figure business, which is my goal for lifestyles, I do understand and appreciate the value of and the importance of team, like building a team. And that right now is where I'm at. Like, I wouldn't say my greatest challenge or struggle right now, but this is the part of my journey where I'm navigating, like you said, building something bigger than myself. That even has its stages. Because at first I was like, what? People want to wait for me? Yay. Shit, I got to pay these people that won't wait for me. How I can do that? And then it's like, okay, well, getting over the, yes, I have a business. People want to work for me. Yes, I have a business. I can pay people to work for me. And moving it to, all right, I need to get the right people on the team to help me build this thing. And honestly, that I wouldn't say that's where I'm struggling, but that's where I'm at now. How do I put together this team of Avengers so that we could save the world? What would you say is one of the biggest mistakes new entrepreneurs make? If you were to say biggest mistakes new entrepreneurs make, in your opinion, what would that be?
I think, I mean, and I get that, but I feel like the reason I feel like I can't pinpoint one specific thing is because I feel like I can only really speak from like my actual perspective, like the people that have shared with me that were aspiring entrepreneurs or are aspiring entrepreneurs and what they either struggle with wanting to start or have struggled with in starting. I think just doubting themselves and not really believing that, not truly being convicted that they could do what it is they say they want to do. So I think they tiptoe around the idea and they make excuses for, I have to wait until I get this done. I don't have the money to pay for this yet, so I can't do it. Like, it's always an excuse, right? Whereas if it's something you really want to do, you at least lay out the blueprint for it, right? Or you start making some progress and figuring out what it's going to take, like, but sometimes you come across people, I've come across people that are like, oh, I have this dream and this is what I want to do. And I'm like, okay, well, where are you at with it? Like, how much do you need to start? You have to comment, how much do you need to start this business you say you want? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And it's like, well, how do you know you can't afford it if you don't even know how much it costs? Does it cost you 50,000? Does it cost you 75? Like,
Yeah.
are you able to, like, if you can't even produce, you haven't done any research on this thing you say you want to do at all, then how do you even know how close you are or how far you are from getting it? And so I think that's something that I feel like a lot of people struggle with. Like even in, and I realize I'm guilty of that in like expansion and like different ventures within my business. I automatically think that this thing is going to cost money I don't have before I even go and look how much money it costs. I think people do that from the jump, and either stops them from going after that entrepreneurial goal or it slows them down in their process.
One of the biggest mistakes I think that entrepreneurs make is they underestimate how much work is required to build a successful business. I think living in a microwave society where instant gratification is a thing, people not just underestimate the amount of work is required, but are simply unwilling
to do the work.
to do the work.
Okay.
Like that's one of my things. Like you gotta do the work, right? What is something that I do as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, that kind of bothers you or rubs you the wrong way? Not, and you know that you ain't super happy and excited about.
I don't say there's something that rubs me the wrong way. I think something that I had to get used to was just the fact that you don't turn off your business brain. That's something that sometimes I'm like, I just want to enjoy my Moscow Mule at dinner, and you just ripping it, like ripping your business ideas at me across the table, and I'm just like,
No offset.
yeah, there's no, oh, it's hard, like, because outside of business, there's really not much that you, business and business related content or conversations that you
Not much
engage
that
in.
I'm interested in.
I know. I'm just saying that's something that it isn't. And I don't say that it bothers me, but
That's one thing.
sometimes it's it's just like I have to take a deep breath and just be like, yeah, nod and smile.
Okay.
I know nothing that I do bothers you.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do that bothers you?
I mean,
Okay.
no. I mean, if I was to say something that bothers,
I didn't ask you.
Okay.
I just joking. Go ahead. What do I do that bothers you?
Like,
Why you say it like that?
because it bothers me. I believe that, I really do believe that you,
Why is your team shaking their head? They know it.
they know, I know.
They know what bothers you.
I just really believe that you could be the biggest thing in fitness. Like, I don't know if it's that you, I feel as though you're not maximizing your potential.
I feel as though you're not maximizing your potential.
Oh, son. Well, no, but I feel like I know that you can be, like, I really believe that you can be a lot bigger than you are, and you're big. Like your brand is solid. But I always have to remind myself that it's your business, because there's some things like that you do or you don't do, and I'm like, boy, like you right there, like this could really be bigger. And this is what I was referencing about, learning to help, give you the help that you want and help you the way that you want.
To be helped. Yeah.
And so, it's like, it ain't my business, but it's her business.
Yeah.
And, you just got to give her space to learn and grow and come around and let her know that when she is ready, let you know that when you are ready, I can support you. And that's one of the things, like, I can just be here to support you.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Aww.
So as far as Bowflex Barbie Fitness and the different business ventures that you have going on, what does the future hold for you in business?
The future for me in business, the direction that I really want to head in is I want to build out a complementary team, a team that helps me operate more efficiently, And I also want to personally move more into the digital space across different, I guess, different facets. So like, aside from the training, as you know, I started working with different brands in the online space, creating fitness content for them. And yeah, just leveraging more partnerships and collaborations in that facet as well, but also still keeping the in-person element alive through the extension of my team as well. So creating a signature style of training that my team follows and standard that they follow, so that even, you know, I think we talk about it a lot as far as, you know, my family, and I think you've been in the conversations too, it being kind of difficult in the fitness space as a trainer that started out solely in one-on-one, face-to-face training to differentiate or to separate yourself from the brand. And so that's kind of what I'm actively trying to do. And I've had spans where I've been successful in doing that. And I think now the goal is to just really make that like the standard going forward. That when you think Bowflex Barbie Fitness or the BFB Flex Squad, you don't just think of Dekel or Bowflex Barbie. You know that it's Dekel that's plugging the foundation, but it's larger than and more expansive than that. So that's the direction for business, direction for personal or relationship is to keep being married to my amazing husband, which is you, and have 7 babies.
You can't drink to that.
You can't drink to that.
7 babies?
Not 7 babies.
Yeah, 7 babies.
Have some babies. Or baby.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's a big gulp.
7 babies.
What are your business and relationship goals?
I mean, the reality is that for me, business-wise, I want to grow lifestyles into a $100 million media powerhouse. Like, I want lifestyles to really be a global force, like a leader globally. And that's really it. Like, I want us to really be the best that we can be straight across the board. And then as far as relationship-wise, I want my wife to just spend all my money. Like, I want to make enough money. I want to make enough money. Actually,
I got that on camera.
I want to make enough money.
I want a clip
that
of
no
just
matter.
that.
No, hold on. I want to make enough money that no matter how much money my wife spend,
yeah,
I ain't broke. Because hashtag can't be broke.
I want a clip of the first thing you said. I want my wife to
Yeah. Send an email to Tyler. He can delete it.
He can delete it.
No, but like me though, like I want to be able to afford the quality of life that I really believe my wife and my family deserves. Like you like things, and so I want to be able to afford.
I ain't angry.
No, but the things you like.
I'm just
See,
a girl.
But I like I want to be able to afford the quality of life where, you know, I can do what I want to do when I want to do it, and make money how I want to make it.
Okay.
And so that's relationship. Like I don't want to ever be able to have to tell my wife, I know, my kids, I know, like.
You forgot about babies. You need another drink? You need another gulp?
You say 7 babies?
No, just one.
Just one?
Or 2.
Or 2?
Yeah.
All right.
Not 7.
Yeah.
It's a little late for me in 7.
As the 7 figures and 1 or 2 babies.
Hey.
All right. We good?
Yes.
You good at that close? That's 7 figures and 2 baby.
That's what you want to leave it on.
Yeah, that's relationship and business.
Fucking A. I get. So hold on. What did I say?
7 babies and
2 figures. You can't have 7 babies and 2 figures.